Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Rate the Record. It is special bonus, whatever. We don't really know how to formally introduce that part. Bonus episode, yay! Happy anniversary! Da, 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 celebrating. Da, 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 da. Wait.
I inhaled something while doing that.
Yeah.
It's so
Special
cute.
guest Otto.
It's so cute.
But yes, this is a bonus episode of Rate the Record. It's not the actual podcast. No, this is a YouTube kind of exclusive thing. We said happy anniversary because it is happy anniversary. Can't you tell how weird and actually normal we're dressed up, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, look at my glasses. They're the best things ever.
Happy birthday. A big tin penis. It's actually number one. It's a number one YouTube. It is not a penis. Please do not block this video.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to edit out an entire penis. That's not a penis. Anyways.
I don't want to have to contact Google again.
I've said that like 6 times, so we're going to get demonetized regardless. But anyways, yeah. So as of today, when this video comes out, August 23rd, it is exactly the 1-year anniversary of the Rate the Record podcast.
I am so surprised. Like, I know that I've said this multiple times before, but I'm just surprised that I've stuck with something for so long. This is crazy.
I think you said like at the halfway point, but now it's like the full year, so you've come full circle at this point.
Hell yeah. Like, I've dropped out of college sooner than this. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Way more effort into the podcast. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And some of you who are really eagle-eyed might be saying, Kris, dumbass, it's not your 1-year anniversary. I thought that was next week when you released episode 1. Facts, but also fact is August 23rd was the day we released our very first video, which was episode 0, the introduction, the really awkward, weird introduction.
Yeah, oh my God. I would love to never listen to that, but I would do so for a hefty sum.
Fair enough. I guess that's the way we're looking at it. So today, what we're doing, I mean, you can already kind of get an idea of that from the title of the video today. It's the Rate the Record Mixtape Exchange Extravaganza Show. Oh. I don't know if that's what it's called in the title. I just said that off the top of my head right now. Maybe I will just for the sake of it. So what happens when 2 people are celebrating a 1-year anniversary? You exchange mixtapes. I don't care that it's not 1992. You exchange mixtapes.
Yeah. I'm so nervous that you weren't going to like a lot of the ones I sent you, so I hope
I could feel the same way.
Yeah, that is true.
So basically what it is Savannah and I, we each put together a quote-unquote mixtape, a playlist of 10 songs each based on how we think we now understand each other's musical preferences. Since we've been doing this podcast for a year, we're starting to understand things about each other. So we went ahead, again, 10 songs each, and we're going to rank those songs today on the Tier Maker website. We can actually do it on the website now since it's like a set thing, you know, so it's all good. It'll be a lot easier for me in editing, I'll tell you that much. So this should be a weird, exciting day. So if you like what you see today, make sure you hit like, subscribe, comment, rate, share, all those cool things. But especially make sure that you're doing that on the podcast as well. Because, I mean, without the podcast, we wouldn't be making this video right now. Imagine this was our very first video. This was just our introduction to the world.
We would have to do all psychedelic albums and, you know, it would really set the tone for what the show will be going further. But now, once you've already listened to the show, you already know that we're cuckoo. So
exactly.
Here it is. This is not out of the norm.
No, we've kind of dressed up before. I mean, I remember we did like Christmas and stuff like that at the end of season 1.
Yeah. I'd like to do that again, but maybe in like the middle. No, because October's Halloween. In the middle of like April, where no holiday, no significant day to really warrant it.
Well, you have the choice to do that whenever you want, but you don't dress up at all during the week, so that's on you.
No, I wear pajamas most of the time. I dress up for this show.
Well, there you go. That's something to be proud of. 365 days of dressing up for the show.
Good job, Savannah. Good job.
Alrighty, well, you pat yourself on the back. I think we should go ahead and just kind of jump into this episode now because it's time to find out what we think of each other's songs. And so I'm going to go ahead and transition over to the Tier Maker screen. Let's go. All right, it's not our usual screen, but it's close enough to the screen. The letters, the colors, the songs, and whatever that need to be ranked somewhere. It's all here, and we're going to do this now. So just in case you want to hear the songs for yourself, down in the description below, we're going to make a a little list here so you can listen to the songs too and have your own decisions. We would like to hear what you think about these songs. But right now, we have to judge each other's tastes, or at least where we think our tastes lie.
All right, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be exciting. But I'm gonna add another like little twist to this too. So basically, we're gonna rank the songs. So I'm ranking the ones in purple. You're ranking the ones in yellow.
Yeah.
And so the ones in purple are the ones that you chose for me, and the yellow ones are the ones I chose for you. So the first one's going to be "When It All Goes Wrong Again" by Everclear. Before I guess or put that song somewhere on the list, I want you to tell me where you think I put it.
All right.
Is that going to work out?
I hope so. I mean, I just hope I hope neither of us are heartbroken. Because if I say, oh yeah, you put that in A and you put it in D, I'll be like, oh, why? But
Yeah.
You know what? Like, as we have really shown each other, music is definitely subjective. Can't get too upset or else we become what we hate, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
I'm
I mean,
taking these off.
but we also too, yeah, because we're technically not even on camera right now.
Like, I can't read anything.
Yeah, and I don't know. We've learned a lot about each other over the entire year and everything like that. Kind of the ins and outs. I don't think we still know each other too well with musical taste, but I think we're getting a good idea by this point.
Interesting.
I've taken notes of what you tend to like in certain songs.
We'll see how this goes. Just start it.
All right, then. Well, then we're going to get started right at the top. It's going to go in order here as you see it on the bottom of the screen. So we'll start with "When It All Goes Wrong Again" by Everclear. Where do you think I put this one?
C.
C?
I think you put it in the C. I think you put it in the low B or high C tier.
I see. Do you have like a plus minus on that? Like B plus, C minus type thing?
B minus, C plus.
I see. Well, I guess you'll be pleasantly surprised now I put it in B plus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I put this one in B plus. I mean, great energy, heavy fun track. I imagine the song would sound good live.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I have like a throwback list that I have like on Spotify and everything like that. And I do have Everclear on it, but I feel like this track would have made the cut if I had heard this one before.
Oh, you haven't? Excellent.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of Everclear tracks. I know of like a few, like probably the usual few.
Fair enough. I was obsessed with them when I was like 12.
All right. So next up, I chose for you "LA" by Elliott Smith.
Okay, so I'm just going to preface like all of this with when I showed up to record today, I didn't do a letter ranking system, so I only did from 10 to 1, right? And it is just guess yours and then I'll finish what I was going to say.
So do you want me to guess a letter here, I guess?
Yes. Where do you think I put it?
I would think you enjoyed this enough to put it in B minus.
Final answer?
Yes.
It is unfair that I had to rank these with a letter, and the first song you give me was my number one song.
Ooh.
It was an A plus.
Wow.
So you keep talking about Elliott Smith and this beat, like this is my first exposure, at least knowingly. I can see myself enjoying more of his catalog, and this is like total driving in the sun music as a mood booster 9,000. Don't care if it's like Semi-Charmed Life or it sounds good, but it's about a bad topic. Doesn't matter. Completely oblivious. Sounded great. I loved it.
Just be careful with this other music. It's not as happy sounding.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
But I picked one of the more upbeat sounding ones. And because like we went through something like Kevin Gilbert and I told you kind of gave me those vibes, I was like, okay, this has got to be the first good exposure. And I mean, now that you've had exposure to him, I'm thinking like this has got to happen on the podcast one day.
I don't doubt that at all. But like I said, it's so unfair that my very first one's like, God damn it, it's an A plus.
No, that's not a problem at all. If anything, that's great. I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad I picked out a good track for you.
It's all downhill from here now.
Potentially. You never know. You never know. There's plenty of songs left. So we'll go on to the next one, OSI by OSI. And I don't remember what, like, official song. I don't know. I don't remember what it stands for.
Office of Strategic Influence. It's like a U.S. government term.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Well, then, where did I put this one?
I'm going to say A minus, B plus.
Ooh, generous. I give it a C minus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it took a little while for the build into itself, and it didn't really the buildup wasn't really that interesting.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like butt rock a little bit, like just a little bit. I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but I mean, like, given the list of things we have, I just wasn't as hot about it.
Fair enough. Little tidbit. That is the guitarist from Fate's Warning's side project, and Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater drums on this album.
Okay, I know the latter, not the former.
Yeah, me neither. I only heard this and was like, yeah, not bad. But yeah.
Oh, and there's going to this next track here too. I should have mentioned in the beginning, we had this rule, although you're aware, I'm just telling everyone else, that we couldn't pick anything obvious for each other or anything like that. So like, you know, you couldn't tell me to listen to a Nine Inch Nails track. I can't tell you to listen to like Rush or Alice in Chains or something like that.
Yeah.
But if we happen to pick songs that we happen to already know and like, but just unknowingly do it, that totally counts, and that means you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So I know you're kind of aware of the next two tracks, but let's just go with the first one here, Tomorrow by Silverchair.
Yeah, 100%. I've listened to all, I think, their first 3 or 4 albums in their entirety. So, yeah.
And I had a feeling you probably did, but I was still playing it safe and be like, let's see what she thinks about this one.
Yeah.
Well, then I would say that maybe it's not your favorite Silverchair song or anything, but it's probably like a B+.
Okay, where are we here?
I know you gotta like convert now.
I'm so silly. C+.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I've always liked the song. I like the guitar tone and how it just screams 90s right in your face. But I feel like I liked it a lot more a couple decades ago, and there's more of the specifically Silverchair stuff that I like more.
Did you know that I was only exposed to this song like 2 or 3 years ago?
Really?
I know, like I'm very aware of Silverchair, but it's funny how little I've heard of them, like their music. So, I mean, Tomorrow came on like a mixed list once. I was like, oh, I kind of dig that. So like, it's still relatively fresh to me.
Oh, dang. Yeah. I used to hear it on the radio when it came out and stuff, but I was an avid radio listener. So
I got super lucky with that.
Dang.
Alrighty then. So we'll move on now. Hole to Feed by Depeche Mode.
Ooh.
Now the good news is, like, I think I've already even mentioned on the show before that I like Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
So that it kind of works out in that favor. Where do you think I put it?
Well, whenever someone says, oh, I like this band, they don't take into account the fact that this album was released in 2009. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's somewhere in the C tier. So I'm going to say C to C+.
Feeling a little off today, but it's an A-.
Really? Oh, okay.
Actually, one of the songs I heard a long time ago that kind of got me into Depeche Mode was one of their later tracks. It was called Dead of Night. I think it was called. No. The Exciter or something like that.
Exciter is a song, yeah.
Yeah, Excited. Then that's it. That was the one that initially got me into Depeche Mode like 20 years ago. So then, yeah, hearing this one, I mean, I like the way it sounds. It was like a little bouncy, and I appreciate the layering, but like also how minimal each layer was, and the percussive chorus with the light guitar piano was really nice. Great little combination. So yeah, I don't know. There was much to enjoy about it. It didn't overstep its boundaries or anything like that. I enjoyed it. So A-.
A lot of people don't like later songs from bands that were popular decades prior, so I'm surprised and very pleased.
Oh, trust me, I know. I hear I'm a Nine Inch Nails fan, and I hear that shit all the time from Nine Inch Nails fans. I like all of their stuff, but like there are people who don't like the last decade of their music.
Yeah, and it's like it's still the same person. It's just they're growing. Grow with them.
And actually, speaking of which, that's coming up shortly on your end of the list. But for now, we have another song that you were well aware of, apparently, which I again figured you probably had listened to Placebo, but I didn't know how familiar you were, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's Nancy Boy by Placebo. Right. And I mean, I think I have a bit of a bias saying that you've heard the song before, and I know you kind of really like it, so I'm just going to go ahead and say A-.
Very close, sir. It is a B+.
B+.
Yeah. It unfortunately couldn't overtake the songs before it, but if I pick a Placebo song to play, I will always play this one.
Excellent. Cool. Well, at least you like it.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I've heard this song like dozens of times.
I believe the song Pure Morning was my first exposure to this band like I want to say like almost exactly 17 years ago.
Yeah. Was it on Big Shiny Tunes 5? Because that's where I heard them for the first time.
It was on Much Wedge, actually.
Ooh, interesting.
Which, to those who don't know what Much Wedge is, Much Music, and they used to have a show called The Wedge, which is basically playing like underground indie music that never really made it to like the main programming. Mm-hmm. And I discovered a lot of excellent music watching The Wedge. One of the best shows I think I could watch for music.
I feel like I saw Prodigy's Firestarter on that show, and just the music video scared me. But I was also very young.
I think you would have seen that on just regular Much Music. They played that all the time. I saw it on like the Much Music Countdown a long time ago.
Oh, really? Oh, dang.
So yeah, you probably just saw it on like regular programming. Or Much Loud, either or.
Too traumatized to remember.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Atonement by Opeth. Next one. I'm aware of this band. I've only ever heard like one song prior to this one, and I couldn't even tell you which one it was. So where do you think I put this one?
Oh gosh. Okay.
With that in mind, with a very vague kind of background on it,
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's somewhere in the high B's, low A's. So I'm gonna go A- to a let's go A- to a full A.
All right, not bad, but this one also fell to B-.
Really?
Yeah, again, not necessarily a bad track at all. There's parts of the track that I really enjoyed, and actually the verses of this song reminds me of the song Blue Jay Way by the Beatles.
Oh.
It's a really weird kind of creepy song, but yeah, like I like that song, so it definitely helped me in this one. Yeah. I like how the song sounded. It was a gentle ride all the way through and interesting layers. Probably longer than it needed to be absolutely honest. And the ending guitar part kind of felt unneeded.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because it's true.
I know. And it's funny because when I was because like I made your list, and then I listened to it in its entirety, and I was like, yeah, this, to me, it sounds unnecessary. He's definitely going to bring it up. So that's funny.
There was a lot of repetition in this song of just like structurally. Yeah. And so then you keep doing that all the way through, and then suddenly just this random part at the end. It's just like, and it's not even like it did much for the song. So there's not much else I could say for it.
Yeah, fair enough. I do agree.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Alrighty then. So we'll move on to the next one. We brought them up a little earlier. My favorite band, 9 Inch Nails. With the song Less Than, I should say.
Where do you think I'm going to put it?
Yeah, you give me absolutely nothing with that one.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say, as classic as this song can sound, it has that kind of like synth rock kind of thing to it. This is actually made in 2017, so it's relatively new. God, I hope you like this one. It's easy for me to hover around B+, but I'll say B-.
Close. It is a straight up B.
Straight up B.
I enjoy the synth bleeps and bloops at the beginning. It has that sort of, I don't really know what to call it, hi-hat snare disco beat I like, and I'm like super into it. Also, How to Destroy Angels, when did they come out? Or like when did Welcome Oblivion come out?
Welcome Oblivion, I believe, is 2012 or 13.
Oh, okay.
And How to Destroy Angels was in 2010 is when they debuted.
Okay, because he says Welcome Oblivion in the song. I'm like, oh, maybe that's where it came from, but clearly that is not the case.
Well, he could just be also making a slight reference to it, but also he just may be using his own words. I don't know.
It's like when you watch a movie and they say the title of the movie and you're like, oh.
If I'm not mistaken, well, it might not be this song, but it might be another one that's more recent too, is his wife is a background singer in one of the songs too.
Interesting.
There's a song called She's Gone Away where she definitely sings. I don't know if she's in this one. There's 2 female singers in this one, and I don't know if she's one of them.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. I can take the B. That's fine. Alrighty then. So now Z Devil by Incubus. I'm not gonna lie. When I like a long time ago, when I saw like I like Incubus, like especially like a lot of their earlier to mid career stuff.
Yeah.
This album came out, had some good tracks on it, but I never listened to this song because I didn't like the title.
Really?
What an absolutely shitty reason to not like listen to a song.
That's okay. I've done it too. I'm like, that's cheesy. I hate
it. This is cheesy. Like I can see him doing like a weird Freud accent while saying it, and it just kind of pisses me off a bit.
Oh God.
But that doesn't mean that trashed the song, but where do you think I put it?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just going to assume you trashed the song. To be honest, I'm feeling solid C minus, straight up C vibes.
Close enough, yeah. This is a C plus.
Yeah.
I'll put it there. Oh no, I said one higher. There you go. Yeah, with this one, some generally cool moments on the track. Like Incubus has always had this way of just doing like cool composition on certain things that I've really enjoyed. Like I think "Warning" is one of my favorite songs by them, and I love the guitar chords that they use, and it just sounds so strange and neat. Other parts I wasn't really into in this track. As I said, I'm familiar with like a decent chunk of their discography. If you wanted me to put this anywhere in the discography, this one would likely end up like a little lower on one of those lists.
Yeah.
Not super bad or anything though, but this one's not one of their greater songs in my opinion.
Fair.
But I do like Incubus though. I'll also say that much.
I wouldn't rank it in the top 5 of my favorite Incubus songs, but I really only listen to Morning View and A Crow Left of the Murder. So that's just me.
On Crow Left of the Murder, my favorite song for a long time was Here in My Room. It's just a quieter, simple track, but it sounds really nice and it's sung really well. And just, I don't know, I really always enjoyed that one.
It's just an anecdote because we're talking about the album. I have an espresso machine and I have a milk frother on the side. And every time it's finishing, it makes this like weird, loud puttering sound. And it sounds like the beginning to the song Priceless. So every time it goes off, I just start singing the song. That's all.
Fair enough, yeah.
Little
Although I do not recall that song, so I cannot agree or disagree. I'm just going to nod where you can't see me because we're not on camera right now.
That's okay. Whoever's watching this, if you feel like listening to Incubus is Priceless, it's that.
All right, so we'll move on to...
Or is it Pistola? It might be Pistola.
Either or.
Anyways, moving on.
So yeah, we're going into the song, and I think there was like 3 sections of songs I gave you on the list, and I think 5 of them were in the first section. It was just like called Straight Up Cool Shit or something along the lines of that. This is the last song in that one, These Days by Alien Ant Farm.
Oh.
I'm going to assume you at least had some fun with this song. Like, it might not even be your favorite, that's fine. I would say like a B.
I like how I'm giving you absolutely nothing to go on. You're right on this one, straight up B.
Cool.
This is another, I swear to God that I've heard this song. Like it must have been a single or something. I know I've heard this song before. I like the vocalizations in the background, and I don't doubt, now I don't know if they're still together, but I don't doubt that Alien Ant Farm are or were underrated, and I like this song.
Well, because everyone only knew them for that song "Smooth Criminal," the Michael Jackson cover.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get me wrong, that cover is fucking awesome.
Didn't they have a song called like "Movies" or something?
Yes,
yeah,
that was another one of their bigger singles.
I remember that one too.
This one, I don't know if you saw the video, the link that I sent you, but it was the song. They actually performed this on a rooftop at the BET Awards and just kind of like crashed it. Everyone, but by the end of the video, everyone was partying, but they got arrested.
Oh my God. Well, worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. This was always one of my favorite Alien Ant Farm songs. I was like, this one's pretty fun and exciting. It's got some cool bass stuff too, so maybe she'll like it.
Yeah, it's definitely in the vein of stuff that I would pick out for myself.
Excellent. See, I'm learning. That's how it's gonna go. And when we do this again on the 2-year anniversary, it's gonna be like all A+ tracks.
I fucking hope so.
By then we would have to, yes. All right, so now we're moving on to the next one of mine. This song was written by a committee by Hostage Life.
Have you heard of them before?
What's that?
Have you heard of them before?
No.
Ooh, they're a Toronto band. I don't know how big they are, but they definitely had their music videos played on Much Music.
Okay, yeah, I guess I wouldn't know just because I know of a lot of Toronto bands like in the 2000s who had their music on Much Music and everything like that, but yeah, I don't know if I ever heard of these guys.
Interesting.
Giving you nothing at all. Where is it?
I am going to say B+.
Once again, you're pretty close with your guesses, more or less. This was an A-.
I was going to say A, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Well, I can tell you right now that 17-year-old Kris would have enjoyed this track.
Right?
I mean, I do too, because I mean, like this is like I read it was like 2007 when the song came out. I think it was.
Yeah, so, I want to say like between 2005 and 7 for sure.
So I would have been like somewhere between grade 9 to 11 at the time, and like I wasn't into like a whole bunch of pop punk. Like I was more into like metal in high school, but there were pop punk tracks that I really liked, and this one would have stood out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's simplistic enough pop punk track. Really enjoyed it. Again, that could be my nostalgia playing into it, but it was still a lot of fun. Probably would have ended up on my throwback playlist as well if I knew it.
Yeah.
And I like the vocalist too. He's got like that great sound and tone for a punk style of music. So I'd be curious to know what he sounds in an actual, like, authentic punk background versus just the pop stuff. So I don't know. Regardless, though, I liked enough. A minus.
Hell yes. Yeah, I agree with all of that. And I mean, I liked it enough from a music video on Much Music to buy the entire album on CD. So
maybe I'll have to check out the music video then. Is it fun? Are they doing crazy shit?
I think it might be this. I know I've seen two of them, but one of them kind of reminds me of Office Space, where they're all in like suits and ties and stuff like that. But I have not seen it in at least a decade. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on now to a section of your playlist I believe I called Bass. And I think there's only like two songs, and then it goes into like another one section and then the finale.
Yeah.
But yeah, another band that we've already covered on the show previously, Lacquerhead by Primus.
Ooh, well, you know that I've listened to Primus before, so that's all you get to go off of.
You've listened to a whole album confirmed.
Confirmed, yes. And I know sometime in my life I've listened to Tales from the Punch Bowl, but I can only recall maybe 4 songs off of it.
That's fair. This is off the anti-pop album, The Flag I've Always Had Behind Me, during our recordings. Nice. This album was 1999, and also when the record label wanted them to go more nu metal.
Huh?
So that's why this song feels a lot heavier than most Primus tracks.
Yeah. Ew.
Or, I mean, the whole album in general has heavier vibes. And also, like, Tom Morello's on this album, too. There's someone else. I just don't remember. But regardless, yeah, they were trying a bunch of different shit.
Too many hands in the pot.
Maybe so. See, I'm back and forth. Like, I feel like you either really like the song or you didn't care enough for it. With that, I'll put it at, like, B minus, C plus.
It was a C.
Okay.
Now, to plead my case, I really like the vocals, and some parts of the vocal melody are definitely memorable. I like bass, but I don't know if I like this much of it. I really like the standout bass riffs, but when it's sort of just strumming along to keep the rhythm, it's just too much for me, which I didn't really realize was a thing until I listened to this and went, yeah, it might be a little much.
It's just really percussive bass. I think it sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the different notes, the sort of dynamicism to it, but when it's all the same thing, I'm kind of like, stop it. And it rattles my chest enough that I'm just like, I'm going to vomit.
If I had known that there's another song off this album I would have let you listen to instead, that would have probably gotten a hell of a lot higher score, but I'll know that for next time.
Yes.
All right, let's move on now to another song for me, Numbers by Kraftwerk. This is a band that I've been told to listen to for so fucking long and never got around to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like early 80s electronic. I mean, feels kind of industrial. It's not really industrial, but it's more electronic. But regardless, it's like, oh, you'll like this. You like this kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, but when you tell me to, I don't want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first real exposure to Kraftwerk, although like I'd be willing to give them more of a try regardless of what I think of this song, but what do you think I think of it?
It's hard to say. I know you kind of like more like harder stuff. I'm gonna say C plus to a B minus. Maybe erring on the side of C.
You actually nailed it. It's a C
Really?
plus.
Oh, hell yeah. I knew I'd get at least 1.
Because you nailed it, I'll put it right at the top of the list there.
Damn right.
Yeah, I mean, this song, it's not bad, especially because, like, I know the time frame of this track. Like, I can appreciate this being an 80s track, so, not to expect anything over the top, I guess, like, as compared to, like, most electronic music nowadays. I like what the song has going for it, but I think the biggest problem is that, again, like, maybe, again, this is a thing of its time, and the electronic music was just getting popular. But it feels like they could have done more with it. Like, it feels like a template of a song right now, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, they really should have busted out like the accordions and the upright bass.
Yeah, feature from Weird Al or something along the lines of that.
Why not?
But realistically though, like I did think to myself, I'm like, maybe this song would sound better in sequence on the album itself rather than just a standalone track. But because we're ranking them as these as standalone tracks, I gave it a C+.
Also, side note, with your mixtape, the order in which I gave it to you was tightly crafted as well. So even if you felt like listening to them in that order, it took me like 3 hours to put it together.
Well, and I did respect your request, and I listened to it front to back as you wrote it.
Yeah.
Because I figured, like, okay, if you're like really curating this playlist for a specific reason, then it must flow in some way or another. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it like that, no problem.
Cool. I thought it did, and then I was like, this is perfect. And then I thought, I'll just curate playlists for people. And then that thought was fleeting quickly.
I would say you can get paid a lot of money to DJ a wedding. All you have to do is show up with like press play on your Spotify playlist for 5 hours, and boom, you made tons of money. I actually know people who did. I know people who did that.
Oh, really?
They just show up to the wedding as a DJ, plug in their phone, press play, and then they got paid tons of money at the end of the night.
Interesting.
I won't name names because I don't want to incriminate anyone.
Yeah. Couldn't pay me to go to a wedding, though.
Not after the one you were already at. Not saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a stressful thing to do.
Yeah, but I also got COVID and then couldn't go.
Oh, that too. That's correct. I forgot you didn't go. 100%.
That was terrible. The entire situation was terrible, and I absolutely love my friends, and I'm so happy that they put me on FaceTime so I could be there. But being a bridesmaid in a wedding, having COVID, not being able to go, and having a bridesmaid's dress you're never going to wear. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, that was the what is it? Snapshot of the grievances of my life. Now let's continue.
Yeah, so we go from grievances to more bass.
Yeah.
So this was the last song on the bass part of the playlist. I probably should have had more bass tracks, but whatever. It is what it is now. Hysteria by Muse.
So where do you think I'm going to put it? I'm going to give you nothing other than I'm pretty sure that I've heard this song on Guitar Hero.
That is very possible. I think they had a couple songs of Guitar Hero. That and Rock Band, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, never played Rock Band. I was too poor for the instruments.
Both were fine. I had fun with both of them.
Yeah.
This is another one of those songs where I think you're gonna love it or hate it. I think you're probably more on the side of liking it because it feels like something you would have been more into. And not only that, but that bass line is fucking awesome. Like it's just super, super cool. And also the crunchiness of the distortion. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just my own opinion. You have to rate it. But I think that this one's got to be somewhere like B plus. Like you were enjoying the song a bit.
So I put it at a B minus.
Okay.
So you're close. I know recently I reviewed a newer single by Muse for a new music review, and it is nice to know that song may have been a one-off because, spoiler, didn't really care for it too much. I, again, feel like I've heard this song before. It wasn't until listening to it about 4 times. I was like, pretty sure I heard it on Guitar Hero, but aside from that, never really heard anything of Muse's, and this is a pretty decent sort of opener to them.
Well, and to be fair, the first 3 albums are probably their best, and the stuff they're releasing now is so different, and it's just not good anymore. I don't know. They've changed a little too much. Their first few albums though are fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
And like their album Absolution is one of my favorites from them. I think it's got like a wide variety of different like emotion and intensity. So I think it's really great.
So they did a Weezer thing. Really good, really good, really good. Turned a corner, disappeared.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, like I think it was after Supermassive Black Hole came out is when I think Muse started to turn a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally wasn't that big, but hey, I mean, Hysteria is off of Absolution. It's one of their better albums, so I could take the B rating for it. Absolutely.
Cool.
Alrighty then. So we'll move on to I Wonder by Blind Melon. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm not too familiar with Blind Melon. Like, obviously, I know No Rain. Everyone does.
Yeah.
But like, I've never taken the time to listen to more of their stuff, so it's refreshing to hear something that's not that song.
Yeah.
Like, listen,
Yeah.
Shannon Hoon sounds great. I'm pretty sure the band's fantastic, but just I'm sick of No Rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of the grunge scene, although technically they're kind of sort of grunge, not really. I mean, it's like the Hotel California for me, like kind of like Smells Like Teen Spirit would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So with that said, though, and my new exposure and interest in this, so where do you think I put it?
Oh, I don't think you gave it an A, and you definitely didn't flunk it because it's too good to be that bad. I don't want to add anything to the B tier just because I really don't want to perpetuate that idea, but I'm kind of feeling B or B plus.
You're getting better at this, aren't you? B plus.
Hi. Yes, that's awesome.
Wait, did you give Nancy Boy a B plus?
Well, let me find it. Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. That'll sit fine right there then.
Excellent.
But yeah, so it's nice to hear something else. So it felt like a fresh take for once, especially considering, again, I haven't really listened to Blind Melon much before.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't, to be honest. So like it falls into that category and of those bands that I would have listened to, like, you know, like your Soundgarden, your Nirvana, like your Pearl Jam. Like, again, they're not exactly like those like top tier grunge acts, but at the same time, they're in that era in kind of like mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some cool guitar work in the verses. Really liked it. Had to listen to it a handful of times just to like really break each one down.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke earlier about Silverchair, and I wonder if Daniel Johns actually had vocal inspiration from like Shannon Hoon. Like I can definitely hear some similarities in the tone at some points.
Yeah, maybe because Silverchair was like 14, 15 when they released Frog Stomp, the song Tomorrow, or the album Tomorrow's on.
Yeah.
So I know that I Wonder is off the same album that No Rain is off of. And I believe that was released in 94 or 95 as well. So
yeah, and not to say that Daniel Johns wouldn't have like other inspirations, because like, I mean, it sounds like they took a lot of alt rock and like post rock and grunge influences. And I'm just wondering if Shannon Hoon had anything to do with it.
I would not doubt that at all.
But it was a cool track all around. I mean, it's not super exciting, but like I enjoyed it enough, obviously, to put it where it is.
Cool. I am happy with that.
Excellent. Good. We're on the right page. So the next two songs I put on your list, I listed as like loud, noisy, and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And because I knew you liked, like, you had a thing for like the crazier stuff, but I didn't want to go overboard with it. It was like, some like 2 tracks will do it.
Yeah.
And these are the ones I'm super curious about. So this song, Shield Your Eyes, A Beast in the Well of Your Hand, on Your Hand by Melt Banana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you a fun little fact about this band before you tell the score?
Please do.
So they're like a Japanese band, but the singer knew their music wasn't doing well in Japan, and apparently there was a scene for this music in America. So she learned English completely just to be able to sing to an American audience.
Really?
So I think that's really cool.
That is pretty cool.
I don't know. I'm having this feeling that the song probably annoyed you. Maybe you dug the bass, but it probably annoyed you in the end. So I'm going to say like C minus.
I actually gave this one a C minus. It was noisy. I hate to say this now that you gave this nice little heartwarming tidbit. It was okay until the vocals came in, and then it took a turn. The vocals, just the voice sounds like a sped up Robert Plant. And it just, I don't know, wasn't my favorite. But when it was just instrumental at the beginning, I was down for it. That was cool.
I always thought the chorus was pretty intense too. Even with the vocals, like I think everything just suits in the chorus.
It definitely got intense. That is a pretty accurate word for it. Yes. It was an assault on my livelihood.
Oh, I think that'll be the next track you have to talk about, but that'll be in a minute. Like that one, I'm super curious about that one. But first, we got to talk about A Girl and His Cat by Biffy Clyro.
Yeah,
one of those strange titles that would get you like, what does that mean?
Yeah, his cat. What?
A girl, two gender, whatever. Anyways,
Biffy. What the hell am I reading?
What the hell's a Biffy Clyro?
Exactly.
Sounds like something I order at like a shawarma place.
Oh my God.
Yeah, obviously I'm aware of Biffy Clyro, and we've talked about it on the podcast before very briefly that like, you know, I like songs like, you know, Mountains and Bubbles and stuff like that. Again, like I think I've listened through one of their albums before, but it was like a long time ago, so I don't remember a whole lot.
Yeah.
This wasn't the album though, so but where do you think I put this song?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know. It doesn't strike me as an A tier for you. So I want to venture to say a C plus or a C.
We should have been keeping track of like how much we nail it, because it's a C plus.
Nice.
Put it right down there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this one, I mean, first the synth in the beginning threw me right off. Like I almost wasn't feeling something. I was like, what the hell is this? Like I didn't like the poppy synth in the beginning. But I mean, overall, there's a lot of interesting moving parts in this track that I did enjoy. I mean, cool moments on the guitar, and it feels okay as like a power pop / alt rock track. So I can take that as it is. As compared to the other songs, I know not my favorite, but at the same time, again, not a bad song.
Excellent.
So I can enjoy this. If it was on, I wouldn't change it. There you go. With no image whatsoever, that only comes through on audio. So it's just like, where did that come from? You remember that we're celebrating something?
Did she just fart? No, it is. I don't know what to call it. One of those party things.
Fart.
That's it. Yeah, party farts. Ooh.
Excellent. Okay, the one I'm super curious about. When Good Dogs Do Bad Things by the Dillinger Escape Plan. Side note, yes, you obviously heard in this song Mike Patton sings. This was off of a 4-song EP Dillinger did between singers, and they just brought in Mike Patton because they were like interested in working with each other. And so they made a 4-song EP, and this was one of those tracks.
Cool. Where do you think I'm gonna put it?
Yeah, you just been giving me nothing all night.
Absolutely nothing. Okay, I've heard the band name, never heard a single track by them.
This is a good exposure, especially to their older stuff. As their like more recent stuff from Ironworks onward would be like still kind of crazy, but like had more like user-friendly structure to it in a way, I guess. But yeah, like this is still in the era of their like absolute insanity. Jesus, I don't know where you're gonna put this one, because it's another one of those ones that you're like either really gonna dig it or you're not. I would like to give the benefit of the doubt and say you will, because there's a lot going on in this track to appreciate, including the like gorgeous second half of the track. I fucking love it. Well, that's just me. Jesus, I'm gonna say maybe you didn't love it enough though. B minus.
You went the wrong way, sir. I gave it a D plus.
Whoa.
Some of the slower, more toned down parts were good, but the screeching was hard to manage. And when I listened to it a couple more times, not much had changed. It's too much for me. So
like, I'm your definition of liking crazy music is just so baffling to me now. I'm just like, what do you like?
I don't know. I just listened to it. I'm like, yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like this.
Oh, so there's like no structure or logic, I guess, in a way to understanding what side of crazy you like in music.
Okay, you know what? I'm like the genre jazz, okay? It doesn't make sense. You look at it going, how do you understand any of this? You just know it exists.
I like jazz, though.
That's me as a person. Well, I'm flattered. Thank you. But that's me as a person. I embody the genre jazz.
Damn, I put that one on there thinking that was going to be at least like mid-tier at the best, or if you were truly into the crazy stuff that you would like that. Well, then, that put some thoughts in my head moving forward, I guess.
Yeah.
with the podcast as a whole.
I was going to say Craigslist new host.
Yeah, something like that. I need someone who just likes anything and everything. Just come at me.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so the last song on your list for me was Make Your Play by Brother Kane. And you must really want me to listen to this band, because we did this on the 90s list too, where you made me listen to a Brother Kane song. And so now this is the second one you've made me listen to.
I have a signed poster on the wall behind me as well.
Yes, I remember. I think we talked about that in that video.
Right.
Did I not rank that song like pretty decently? I don't really remember, to be honest.
I don't remember either. I know that you didn't shit on it, so I was pleased.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough then.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, where is it?
Oi. Well, it's got some nice what is it? Slide guitar. It's kind of bluesy. I like that. So I'm gonna say that you're going to like it just as much as me, and it's gonna be A or B minus.
Right at the end, you fall off. This is another C+ track.
God motherfucking damn it.
I mean, this is early 90s butt rock for sure.
Well, yeah.
This is like proto butt rock, almost dad rock at this point.
Yeah, hell yeah. It came out in 91. They were pinnacle.
I mean, like, I like a lot of the acoustic portions and compositions. Great clean tones. Really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this track didn't offer more for its length, though. It's like a lot of A-B composition. And like, I don't know, with its length, it got tiresome after a little while. And it's like, this one might have ended up on my like throwback list. Like, if this is one of the songs that if it came up on my throwback list, I wouldn't focus on it, but it would be there and I could just continue having a good time or doing whatever it is I'm doing.
Well, this song is the last track on the album, so it might be why the length is there. They're really just milking it. But if you do put anything of theirs on a throwback list, do the first track on this album, Got No Shame. It's a pretty good one. Got some solid harmonica.
But it can't go on a throwback list because I have no nostalgia value with it.
Well, put it on a... Shut up.
I'll make a playlist called Savannah's Throwback, and I'll just put on songs that I think you would add to it. Oh God, that's another tier list episode that we gotta do now.
What songs would I have liked in 1997 and go?
Well, to be fair, we already did 90s list, so we don't have to do that. That's fine.
Yeah, but the week of March 6th, 1997.
Oh, very specific. I don't know. The Wallflowers are on there somewhere. I don't know.
Probably.
Okay, so I gave you a finale after the loud, crazy noisiness. Speaking of a type of jazz as well, Lingus by Snarky Puppy. There's so many songs. Like I wanted to put a Snarky Puppy song on here because it's like it's so creative and interesting that I would be curious to get your thoughts on it. And it took me a long time, but Lingus is one of their more popular ones, especially the video I sent you, the live version of it.
Yep.
And I don't know. A lot of people love it, but I'm curious to know what you think about it.
I'm curious to see what you think I think about it.
See, you've shocked me a couple times on this list, so now I have no idea. I don't have an inkling. I mean, I'm glad you
have a migraine now too.
I mean, you put Elliott Smith at A+, like that's great, but I mean, let's. I don't know.
Throw balls to the wall. Throw it all there.
B+.
It's not. It's much better than that. It was A+ actually.
Wow.
I could listen to this shit forever. Jazzy horns with a nice guitar. I started listening to their other songs in this album, and yes, please, thank you.
Did you see the synth solo where the guy practically goes into another dimension while playing it?
I like all of it. It pleases my ears, my eyes, my soul. Looking at the band name, all I could think was Skinny Puppy. So I was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So I think it was the order that you had written them down, even in those categories, was the order that I put them in my Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
So it had Dillinger Escape Plan before this song. So as I'm listening to it, I'm not really paying attention that the track before had ended. So my brain was telling me that this was some sort of jazz breakdown in a Dillinger Escape Plan song.
Which they've done.
And then when I took a look, I started this song over, realized it was the entire song, and was much, much more pleased. So thank you for sharing that with me. That is now mine.
Excellent. See,
I like
Lingus is a popular track, so now you're just one of those people.
I grew up listening to Steely Dan, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's nostalgic, but I like kind of finding nostalgia in newer things that I can claim as my own, not that, I listened to when I was 5. So this is my thing now. Thank you.
Not a problem. Absolutely.
That was the party thing again.
Yeah, the thing with the Dillinger Escape Plan was like, because again, you tend to really like some of the tracks on Daughters and everything like that. Yeah. But now that I think about it, like, the reason They Hate Me was like one of the less crazier songs on the album, I guess. Although you like Flammable Man and stuff like that too. So like I was wondering like how crazy can it get before she doesn't like it? And I guess we answered that question.
I feel like maybe there's specific, like, I don't know, like tones, or just normally it's just the way it makes me feel. And some crazy songs just I can't help it make me feel scared, like I should fear for my life, or what is happening? They're coming to get me. And other like crazy songs are like, wow, this is a perfect embodiment of what is in my head most of the time. And that's where I'm comfortable with it.
And Dillinger's a band I've seen live, and
are they crazy?
Oh, they're absolutely insane. You can get injured at those shows just from the band. Because sometimes Ben, the guitarist, will jump into the crowd while playing his guitar, and he'll wail the guitar head around. People have been struck by it.
Yeah.
The lead singer, Greg, during the final song of the set they did was a song called Farewell Mona Lisa, which I really like. And he did this, like, he jumped into the crowd but did like a missile dropkick, and guess who he landed directly on top of?
You.
Hell yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
I was bruised for a while, and he's also like a 200-pound muscle-bound tank at the time. He used to be like packed with muscle. So yeah, I had him drop kick me.
Oh my God.
Wild show. Speaking of wild show, though, I mean, this was a wild show today. We got to kind of see where we lie with our musical tastes. I mean, we both had some A-tier songs in there for each other. So hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You really like Elliott Smith. You really like Snarky Puppy. You like the bread of the sandwiches there, as we've referred to as in the past.
Yeah, hell yeah. Elliott Smith, I wasn't sure what to expect because like I just keep thinking that it's like sad indie music. So when I heard this,
for the most part,
I was like, I fucking like this. This is great. So.
If you want to hear something pretty but also complex on guitar, listen to Independence Day. That's really one of his finer tracks. There's a whole bunch I could point out. I mean, like oh my God, like there's just a lot with Elliott Smith, but that's Elliott Smith. We got to come back down to earth for a minute here and close up this video. Yeah, that was our 1-year celebration. We exchanged mixtapes and we decided not to see each other again. So now we go our separate ways and that's it forever.
Yeah, gone forever. This is the first time that you've actually said, hey, check out this song. And I'm on Spotify, so I added it to the list, finally.
Excellent, because usually when I say things, I don't ever expect you to listen to it. I'm just like, I put it out there in the void, hoping one day.
Yeah, I write it down, and then I forget to open that book ever again.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Well, we want to know what you thought of these songs too. You've heard our opinions. So again, down in the description, this is only on YouTube. This is not an audio. So down in the description, there is links to the songs that we listened to today. Let us know what you thought about them. Very curious. Where would you have ranked some of these songs? Do you think we were fair? Do you think we were unfair? Let us know. We're very curious. You can also let us know on our social medias over at Rate the Record Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. All found on ratetherecord.ca. Mm-hmm. And don't forget, I mean, again, we're celebrating 1 year of the podcast, so make sure you're watching the podcast if you actually haven't seen it yet for whatever reason. You found this video, but you didn't find the podcast. Regardless, go watch the podcast. New episodes every Monday. We just started season 3 as of this episode,
woo.
Yesterday was just the second episode of season 3. So make sure, go back, watch everything we got, become a fan, hit that subscribe button, help us build our musical community. It's really great.
Heck yes. And thank you for being here. If you're watching this, whether it's your first video or your 10th, thank you.
Yeah. If you know that we're celebrating the 1 year, that's awesome. Thank you very much for celebrating it with us.
Yeah.
And make sure we're not done celebrating just yet. I mean, we got to wait a little bit, but come back on Monday. It's that's the anniversary episode of Rate the Record, where that'll be the anniversary of the first episode of Rate the Record way back in August. I think it was 30th, 2021, when we did Pearl Jam's 10.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got a really cool album coming up for that one this Monday. So make sure you stay tuned. Maybe you have an idea of what it is, but the idea, it's gonna be fun. Make sure you check it out. It's gonna be great.
Hell yes.
And now that we're all done talking and I'm just rambling at this point, we can cut off the video. So one more time, thank you very, very much for watching. See you again over on the podcast, and we'll see you real soon. So take care, friends.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, the batteries died. Shit. I left it on.